Hi guys, welcome to North Star Knife Reviews. Taking a look at another Ontario Knife Company knife today. This one is going to be the $4.99 Pilot Survival Knife. It's made in the USA by Ontario Knife Company. And Ontario was not the only company to make this. Let's talk about that in just a second. Camillus made a lot of these. I believe Marble may have been the actual designer of this, Marble's knives. But a lot of companies made them. Ontario was one of them. Ontario made a number of these for the military, and you can still get them. Well, not sure for how much longer, but so if you want one, you may want to get one soon. But I picked one up just because it's not really my style of knife so much, but the history and the significance of it, I really wanted to have one in my collection. And when Ontario was closing, I thought, well, get it now or get it never. So before we talk about this knife itself, before we look at this knife itself, let's talk a little bit about the purpose for this knife, because sometimes you'll see this as a bushcraft knife or a camping knife, and people may complain about certain things. Oh, it's not that great for it. Well, this wasn't designed as a camping knife. It wasn't designed as a bushcraft knife. It was designed, quite honestly, for long-term storage and short-term use. Okay, it's meant for emergencies. It had to be able to sit around potentially for years without corroding, without doing that, which is why it's coated. And then the purpose was, if you went down, you could use it for hopefully not more than, say, 48 hours, maybe 72 hours, until somebody could rescue you. All right. It was not designed as something to pass down to your grandkids. It was not designed as something that you were going to use every year during hunting season for 30 years. Now, I'm not saying it can't be those things, but that was not its design. That was not its purpose. So, don't expect it to fit as well in some of those categories as a purpose-built knife. All right. This was designed for emergency use. And that's why I think this is a really good knife that you could put in, your emergency kit, your bug out bag. Knife that you aren't planning to use, hopefully, but that's there if you need it. Again, long-term storage, short-term use. Let's take a look first at the sheath. Okay. Nice little leather sheath, not the most spectacular in the world, but decent. You've got this little, I believe it's aluminum or not aluminum, probably some kind of steel. I'm not 100% sure, but I believe so. You've got a little sharpening stone. Again, not world class, but the purpose is to get you back in working order if you're out in the field and you're in an emergency situation. Okay. Very basic belt loop. Does come with a couple of lashing cords for you. So let's put that out of the way. And then the knife itself. All right. 1095 carbon steel, stacked leather handle, pretty basic type of construction. Now a lot of people will sand this off, the coating off a bit if they're going to use it, and that's not necessarily a bad idea. But for storage, if you're not going to use it much, leave that coating on. Now that coating, if you do put it in the sheath, because there are a couple of rivets on the inside, the coating will get marred. That's just how it happens. Not the end of the world. But yeah, if you are going to use this a lot, you might want to take the coating off and just take care of it. But if it is going to be in storage or an emergency kit or something, leave the coating on. Okay. So you can see the fit and finish isn't the best in the world. This is, the leather rings aren't quite evenly on here. And it's not meant to be. The goal was to, you need 5,000 of these or whatever, and you have to hit a certain price point. You have to have it lightweight enough. It has to last, as I said, in storage. It also has to hold up to some hard use, but it's not meant to be a forever knife. Okay, which is why one of the things I see complaints about is that the Tang is not the full width. The Tang, if you look at it, it's probably about the width of my little finger going down. Now it does go all the way through, it's a full Tang, but it's not the same width as the blade here. You can see on it, and I don't know if you guys will be able to see this really well, but it does narrow, and again, as I say, about the width of my little finger. So that's a complaint, but again, that's a weight saving measure and a cost saving measure. The leather will hold up really well. It's not going to break if you drop it. It may dry out, but it still is going to work for you and not be exceptionally cold, going to be pretty lightweight. The fuller adds strength, also takes away some weight. They had to have specs for this. My brother-in-law is career Army, and he used to fly helicopters. Now he's moved into acquisitions and negotiating contracts for the military, and you have specs that have to be met, and it has to come in at a certain price point. So that's why some of these things happen. You need it to do certain things, and that's why the design elements are there. You've got the two little holes here if you wanted to lash it to make a spear, or your gear gets caught up in a tree when you bail out. You can lash this and use this to reach up and try to cut it out of the tree, whatever. You have this saw back here. Some people say that's to get out of the airplane. I was watching Common Sense Outdoorsman, who was career Air Force, and he said, and again, I'm just repeating what he said. He said, for the most part, anywhere on a plane is going to be way too tough and thick for this to actually help you out. But it could, in some circumstances, help you, break through some things. But for the most part, it's not going to do that because the aircraft aluminum is much thicker and harder to get through than this would be. And he says mostly just to help push things out of your way that might otherwise injure you. And you can use this to saw wood, not the greatest, but it will work. So I think this is kind of a cool knife. I think it's a cool piece of history. I'm glad that I picked it up. You can see. And again, it's probably not something I'm going to carry a lot, but I will probably put this in an emergency kit or something just to have there, which is what I think sort of its intended use is. And so you're sort of honoring that tradition by doing that. You could also just put it in a collection, right? Or you can use it. It's not a bad knife, okay? It's not going to be the best at some of those things, but, this runs, I think I paid about $42, $43 for this. It's going to vary. It's going to somewhere between $40 and $65 depending on where you get it. And I'm guessing the price is going up, but anyway. So hope you like taking a look at this $4.99 pilot survival knife. Pretty decent little knife for the money. Just keep in mind what it's meant for. You guys have a great day. I'll talk to you next time.